This week I'm going on a journey to an enchanted land called a thrift store in search of wares. Hobbit wares, that is. Basically looking for anything that a hobbit might wear from the thrift store. So join me as we go on this epic adventure and find some hobbit wares. Hello, we are heading into Value Village to see if we can get some suits to make a hobbit costume, and fingers crossed that they will have what we need, because I don't even know what size I am. So this will be interesting. So we made our way into Value Village to start our epic adventure. One of the first things we came across were these vests. This red one immediately stood out to us. I mean, look at that. That blue jacket on the left we had also found, and my husband was convinced that's what I needed for this fancy hobbit look. Unfortunately, the vest didn't fit me, as cool as it was. My husband tried it on because it said it was a small.
It might be a large kid's.
I think it is. Then I tried on this woman's jacket. We liked the pattern on it, but felt it needed to be altered. Then I found this gem, this corduroy jacket. I love corduroy. Searched for some more jackets. We had plenty of options to try on. None of them quite seemed to have the correct fit that I was going for. And back on to vests. This vest was the one I ended up choosing. To be honest, it was the one that looked the nicest that actually fit me. It had the cut I was looking for, and it went under the jacket and complemented the jacket I chose really well. I ended up trying on quite a few pairs of pants. The hardest part with this was finding my size. And men's pants, I have discovered, do not fit like women's pants. And yes, as women, we all know it's really hard to find pants that fit us anyway. So this was an extra struggle. But in the end, I prevailed and managed to procure a few items, along with some odd looks while I was trying on my clothes. Hello, I am back home and I am in full craft goblin mode. I got on my comfy sweater, my sweats, my comfy socks. It is rainy outside. I got a steaming hot cup of lemon ginger tea because my tummy is unhappy. We took our kids to Canada's Wonderland yesterday. I have apparently lost my tolerance for some of the rides, which is very, 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 very sad and depressing. So we're going to turn ourselves into a hobbit. But first, I feel like we are not in the correct location for this. Let's see if we can fix that. That's better. Now I'm in Middle Earth. The first thing I'm going to do is try on the pieces from the thrift store that I decided on purchasing and put it all back together and see how it looks and see what I need to adjust from there. I did bring everything home and wash it ahead of time, so everything is nice and clean. I am ridiculously sensitive to smells, so everything needed to be immediately washed. If you have any kind of issues like that, you can relate. At any rate, let's try these pieces on. If you haven't yet guessed it, I'm going for more of a male adventuring hobbit for this one. Sort of channeling my inner Bilbo Baggins. In the future, I would like to do like a girl hobbit. I also really like the Wanderer's looks from Rings of Power, like Eleanor or Poppy. Concerning hobbits, we're going for a Bilbo Baggins look today, or Bilbo Baggins adjacent look, but you know, I'm probably not going to have things as fancy, so I'm probably going to be maybe his gardener or something. Maybe we're more of a Samwise Gamgee. Enough preamble, let's get to the trying on of the clothes. We don't need these, or this. That's better. Now, Let's tuck it in. Ooh, popped a button. Perfect. Fix our collar. I feel dashing. And now for our coat. We are fully kitted out in our dapper Hobbit outfit. So what do we think? Do we like it? I know you can't really see the pants from here. Let me back you up. There are the pants as they currently are. I actually kind of dig my outfit right now. You look kind of dapper. I mean, from what I can see on my tiny little screen. So what I'm thinking is that I need to shorten these pants, definitely, to that Hobbit length. This collar here, it's only got a button on one side. People don't know how to repair their shirts and then they go to the thrift store. This collar here, when you look at the pictures of the Hobbits, at least the ones we were looking at while we were in the thrift store and confirming this, they don't have a collar like this. They basically have this older style shirt top collar that ends probably around here. So basically here-ish. So I'm thinking if I remove this upper piece somehow, that it would be the proper height that I want it to be. And then I think everything else is great. I love this corduroy jacket. I love corduroy. So happy when I found that and it actually fit me. And then the legs, well, we are going to hem them to Hobbit length to make me look like I'm wearing something more like a Hobbit would wear. That's it. That's all I got. And this is getting really warm and I'm still feeling nauseous, so yay! I left the pants on because I want to work on hemming them. First, I need to find a mirror and look at some reference photos because doing this by myself might be a little bit difficult. So I've checked a few reference photos, and looking at a couple of these photos, I've determined that the length of the pant length goes to below the knee, approximately mid calf muscles, sort of like a capri pant. So don't die. So we are looking at that probably where I have these currently. I need a mirror and get off this chair before I fall and hurt myself. I'm not as young and spry as I used to be. I think we did it. Did we do it? So I'm gonna pin that height there. I think I'm happy with the length of these. These are basically, you're hemming them to capri length. So below the knee a little ways, kind of like not quite halfway. I don't know, man. Hem them to where you feel it's comfortable and they look good. We're gonna call a friend.
Hello.
Hello. Is Mom around?
I'm in the trailer.
Is she available?
I can go find out. I can take this thing out there. I don't know if it'll work out there.
Oh, you could try taking it out.
Oh, there?
Hello. Just so as you know, I am currently filming.
Okay.
Wanted to give you a heads up. So I'm hemming my Hobbit pants to be Hobbit length.
Okay.
And when I hem pants, so I tried them on and I rolled them up to the length I wanted and I threw a pin in there at the proper length. What are my next steps?
Okay, you can do two things.
Okay.
Okay, then you need to leave enough for a hem.
Okay.
Or are you going to go ragged?
I'll hem them.
Okay, so then you need at least,
So your pin is the bottom?
yeah, the pin is the
So
bottom.
make them longer than my pin, obviously. Yeah.
So either go an inch
Okay.
longer,
Yeah.
and then you can either,
Cut them straight off, fold them in, and hem them.
yeah,
I love how Dad's like chiming in here. Dad, when was the last time you hemmed a pair of pants?
I've watched.
I've watched.
can mark.
Oh, with the
your-
slidey thingy?
Yes.
I think I have one. Yes. Okay.
They're fantastic to use, and then just pin it.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you for confirming what I thought I knew, but I was like, Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to look quite dapper in my Hobbit outfit.
Okay. It should.
It should, yeah. Okay, we can say bye.
Bye.
To hem the pants, I first cut them off, as was suggested by my mom. Which I figured I was going to need to do, honestly. Sometimes you just need to call your mom and have her tell you you're doing the correct thing. So I took where my pin was marked and I used a straight ruler in my mat just to make sure that I was lined up correctly, marked them and cut them off an inch below where my pin was. Then used the cutoff piece to help me mark the other pant leg so I knew I was cutting off the same amount. And then I rolled and pinned the pants up a half an inch using my little hem ruler marker thingy to help me. My hem ruler guide, yes, using my little hem ruler guide to help me make sure I was only turning them up a half of an inch. I'm going to try them on and see if we're relatively even. I would hate to finish these and then go one is like slightly off. It would drive me crazy because I would notice. We have confirmation that the length is good. So I am going to press these and then roll them again and then hem them. After checking to make sure that everything was the correct length I wanted, I ironed them just to press the fold and then rolled them again. And also ironed these to press them. Meanwhile, I took this opportunity while my iron was hot to iron some of the other clothing pieces. Anyone else hate ironing, or is it just me? We have hemmed Hobbit pants. What do you think, friends? At least from my angle, they look like they are even. I got Hobbit pants! I'm looking at the top part of this shirt and I feel like in order to remove this collar bit here is that I'm gonna have to go in and just pick this seam across here to remove this bit. So we're gonna have to seam rip this seam all the way across. And then all we're going to have to do at the top is just fix this edge of this other collar bit here. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this off and then sew this bit up. And hopefully that goes as smoothly as saying those words. So I started seam ripping on the inside of this shirt and ended up getting into some of the fabric stiffener and ripped the shirt right there. Oh God, that was not a good feeling. So I went from the other side and that ended up working much better. And then I just sewed along the top to close the area that I had opened. So that mostly worked. When I went to seam rip, I accidentally ripped and cut the shirt to now have a hole there. Yeah, there's some stiffening fabric on the inside, and when I was ripping it just sort of went right through that. On the back side, however, it did not do that. So next time I know not to go from that side or just be really super careful and go from the back. But it did come off and then I just stitched along the top. So we have this shorter little collar at the top now. I did notice while I was stitching that top it up that I have a hole on the front of this shirt, which it's a thrift store shirt. It's not gonna be perfect. But actually, I had an idea. I was thinking, what if this is like a hand-me-down Hobbit shirt? So it's got some little holes and things on it, and it's not perfect. So I was thinking I would make some little cotton patches and then sew one on the top here and then one at the front and see if there's any other areas that are like that, and then just give them a little bit more character by sewing little patches on it. So I think that's what I'm gonna do next. My camera stopped recording because of course it did. So I'm not really sure what got cut out there. My battery died and I won't know until I'm reviewing that. For this top one, I just folded over fabric and tucked in the edges. I'm thinking now that maybe I didn't need to tuck in the edges and I could have just sewn a little piece on top, but that's what I did. I don't hate it. It looks like how it's supposed to look. And then this little hole on the front, I took just a little piece of cotton on the back in a little square and then stitched around the edges on the back side. So it's just reinforcing around where that hole is a little bit. Yeah, now the shirt's done. Let's try on our brand new Hobbit clothes. But first, we must travel back to Middle-earth. That's better. First thing we need is our shirt. The next thing we need are our Hobbit pants. Yay! Tucked in, of course. Now we need our vest. And the last thing we need is our jacket. And there we have our Hobbit outfit. I know you can't see the legs. Hold on. Ta-da! Our Hobbit outfit. I feel hobbity already, except I do feel like I am missing something. Hold on. Nice. I got some Hobbit feet. I just popped something off up there. Let me show you the bottom bits. Hobbit feet, Hobbit pants, full on Hobbit. Okay, so I got my Hobbit suit, I got my Hobbit feet on. I just feel like something else is missing though. So join me next week as I make an adventuring cloak to go with this costume, so I can go on adventures and save the world. 'Cause let's be honest, we hobbits do most of the saving. And if you want to see how I made these Hobbit feet, as weird as they are, you can check out this video next. Until next time, nerdy friends, bye!